I did not care about my wife's feelings for a long time. I felt like she was overly emotional. She was too sensitive. I felt like she was making me responsible for her feelings. I felt like she was always projecting her feelings onto me. I didn't have compassion for her when it came to her feelings, nor did I have empathy and be able to put myself in her shoes to understand why she was feeling the way that she did. But I realized early on in our relationship that I did not have the capacity for her feelings because I wasn't in tune with my own feelings. I was always taught to man up and to be emotional, or for a man to have feelings was weak. I never dealt with the feeling outside of anger. So I did not know how to process feelings of inadequacy or insecurity or not feeling good enough. And not only was it detrimental to my mental health and my emotional health, but it was also detrimental to my spiritual health. And at the end of the day, it affected my relationship greatly. I had to go to therapy. I had to get a mediator. I had to go to counseling. I had to do the things so I could identify my own feelings, so I could be in tune with my own feelings. I was underexposed to healthy male examples that leaned into their feelings instead of sweeping them under the rug and just...
I think this is very, very important to speak about as men, because I think a lot of us don't generally understand a woman's point of view, because he's right, we're not in touch with our feelings, we're not in touch with processing emotions, we're not in touch with, looking at the world through someone else's lens. And I think it's something that once you understand the impact that it can have on the other person, just acknowledging their feelings, being able to see things from their point of view, I think it's just going to help you in all areas of life, not just your relationship. I think it's something that we don't even notice that we don't have a lot of the time. And it's a skill that you have to develop over time. It's a skill that you have to it's a skill that you definitely need to realize that you don't have by looking at examples set by other people. And I'm glad he highlighted the fact that he didn't have examples of other men leaning into that. And I think sometimes that's where the distrust, maybe miscommunication happens between men and women, because women want to talk about what they feel and men are just like, I don't feel that, so I can't resonate with it. Just because you cannot resonate with something doesn't mean that every single thing that someone is feeling it's not valid. At the end of the day, you've got to kind of compartmentalize what is valid, whereas what might be just something that might be a little bit of overkill. Because to be able to do that is to have a good hand on your relationship. To be able to do that is to have a good understanding of your wife, of your girlfriend, and it will translate into other male-female relationships that you have as well. So if you think about all the skills needed to raise a daughter, it will be similar skills to the one that you need to have a good relationship with your wife. There'll be similar skills. There'll be similar things that kind of cross over. So when you have a daughter, you have to be in tune to her feelings. You can't raise her in a way where you're not in tune. You can't be dismissive of the way that she feels, because acknowledging her feeling allows her to be safe. Acknowledging her feelings allows her to be in a space where she can maybe let her guard down a little bit and trust you a little bit more. And it's not to say that every single feeling needs to be validated. It's not to say that every single feeling has a right to show itself in the situation that you might be in. But if you've shown a track record of taking into account your wife, your daughter, your mum's, your auntie, your sister's feelings, then you should put yourself in a space where they feel comfortable around you, they can trust you. You've shown that you're an empath to them. You've shown that you're someone that they can rely on in terms of coming to in vulnerable moments, because we need to understand as men a lot of the time that women completely experience the world a completely different way to us. They really do. They experience certain things that they go through on a consistent basis completely different to us. They see the world differently, and understanding them more allows you to know how to act within certain situation. It knows you know more of, okay, this is how I need to kind of show up in this situation versus maybe I need to be a bit more of a pillar in this situation. I need to be more empathetic here. I need to be a little bit of a sterner person here. But if you show that balance, if you have that balance as a person, it ultimately will lead to you having a great relationship with whoever you choose to have it with going forward. And the fact that he's able to kind of articulate this so well and understand something that maybe he wasn't taught and go look for the information, this is a clear sign of growth. This is a clear sign that this man is actually looking to be the best possible husband for his wife. I was almost said partner there. I hate the word partner. He's looking to be the best possible husband for his wife. And we should all be trying to grow in a direction that strengthens our leadership. We should all be trying to grow in a direction that strengthens who we are as men. We should all be trying to grow in a situation that, you know, we're looked up to by our children, our other brothers as well, so we can set a good example, because, you know, you never know who you're inspiring a lot of the time. But I'll let him finish.
Manning up. When I first realized that I was allowed to have feelings, then I was able to be more empathetic and compassionate with my wife in
Whoops, I don't know what happened there. Let's go back.
regards to her feelings. Us men want to speak that women are overly emotional. We be overly emotional too, but our emotions happen on the inside. We don't articulate our emotions in words or verbally like women do. Emotional intelligence or emotional maturity isn't just being able to identify and manage your own feelings. It is also being able to identify the feelings of somebody else and helping them manage theirs. The blessing in becoming more emotionally mature, it allowed the intimacy of our relationship to go to another level, because I'm not showing up as this rock solid hardcore man all the time, but I can articulate that I have feelings as well, and that certain things affect me emotionally as well. But more importantly, being able to identify with her that just because she's having feelings, whether they're healthy or unhealthy, that it doesn't make her crazy, it makes her human.
We can talk about.
Okay. I would definitely agree with pretty much everything that he said. I think understanding someone else's emotion, especially if you're going to be pretty much everything to that person as well. When you choose the role of being a husband, when you step into that role, even in the early stages of, you know, getting to know someone, you have to show that you're well-rounded. You have to show that you're pretty much good at everything. This is why I advocate for women to, majority of the time, I mean, everyone can do what they want to do, but my preference is women date men that are a little bit older than them, just because they would have had more life experiences. Not always the case, but by rule of thumb, if you've got more years on earth, it's giving you the opportunity to have more life experiences, to then be able to have learned certain things that women are going to find useful. There's no point dating someone that's younger than you. There's no point dating someone that's the same age as you, because you haven't given them an opportunity to be or to learn certain things that they need to learn. And it's not always going to translate in most cases, but most of the time, if people are doing the right things and they're doing things that they're supposed to actually do, then those years do count in terms of being able to learn things, being able to put them into practice, and having the experiences necessary to then get to a place where you're everything that your woman needs you to be. So 100% men need to tap into a greater level of understanding when it comes to their wives. They need to have a great level of patience. They need to show that they are leaders, and leaders doesn't always mean that you just go off and do your own thing. Leadership is not all about just saying, okay, I'm the leader, and this leadership is about taking into account everything you see before you and knowing the right direction to move into. And sometimes that right direction will include you listening and validating the person that you choose to be with, the person that you call a wife, because she needs it. Now, there is a healthy version of that, and there's obviously an unhealthy version of that, where some women lean into that a little bit too much and take advantage of the situation, and everything is just about their feelings. So you got to be able to decipher and understand what is healthy and what kind of starts leading into an unhealthy place. And once you understand that, you will be a very well-rounded man. You'll be a man that your wife looks up to, and you'll also be able to say, I am someone that takes into account everything needed to be able to lead my wife and lead this family. But I'd love to know your thoughts on this one. Please drop a comment and follow for more, and I'll see you in the next one.